Yes, hello to everybody from me. My name is Karin Ammon. I'm from Plato in Dortmund, and we have developed together this concept how to work with FMEA-MSR in Plato 1 together with Mr. Schuster. And yes, he already told you that we will talk about the wiper system. And I made a very, very easy system element structure I prepared for this. So we have the wiper system. It's built by a wiper motor and a wiper arm, and we have a wiper grounding, a motor grounding system element there. This wiper system, we have two functions here. On the left side, the wiper system has to clear the windshield and also to fulfill a standard for, I think it's a standard for safety, to have a clear view during driving a car. So when I switch now to the function analysis, we have to fulfill a standard, or maybe I will focus on the wiper motor here. The wiper motor has to provide an operational power to operate the wiper system. And if the wiper system, if this is working, then we can clear the windshield and fulfill the safety standard. And there is also a supplier function from the motor grounding and having the function net, the failure net now. If there's insufficient power to overcome the static friction in the system, the wiper arm might stop and the windshield will not be clear of debris and so on. And the reason could be if there could be insufficient current due to insufficient grounding. So with this failure net, we will now switch to the DFMEA in Plato 1. This is the base of the FMEA-MSR, what we learned before. And you can see here now this is the same. This is the function net. We have here now the failure net, what we saw. We have these two failure effects. The safety issue, for example, a safety issue is evaluated with a severity of 9. And we did here in our step 5 for the DFMEA some preventive and detection controls, but the AP value is already still red. Then we did some optimization work for recommended actions, so we could reduce the occurrence, but it's an AP value from yellow now, and this is not enough. So for this system element now, we will switch to another form sheet. The form sheet is the FMEA-MSR, and it's based on the DFMEA. You have the same, you can see on step 3, this is the function analysis. You have step 4, the failure and the risk analysis or failure analysis. And you can see the step 5, where we did some preventive and detection controls. And now there is a supplement. This is the step 5 for FMEA-MSR. And we will hide this here because in the moment we don't need this anymore. So what we had before in Mr. Schuster's presentation, first we have to decide for which cause the FMEA-MSR is relevant. So in my case, this is very, very easy. The FMEA-MSR is relevant for my only course I have. So you can see here, this is all read-only. I can't do anything for the FMEA-MSR. I have to activate all the fields here by checking this box. As default values, you don't have any diagnostic monitorings and system response in the current phase. So the second, you should describe the rationale of frequency or for frequency. The SAE menu also recommends to describe the chain of events. So I will ask the database because I don't want to write so much. I have prepared it here. So we can describe here the chain of event when there is insufficient power delivered to motor due to poor grounding along the increased frictional load on wiper because of de-icing chemicals. Motor is not able to supply sufficient mechanical power and the wiping will stop. You can define the frequency. I will select it's a frequency of 5. How often? So what is the frequency of occurrence during operation? So actually we don't have a diagnostic monitoring, so we have to evaluate this by 10. Now there are several ideas what to do with the step 5 if you don't have anything to edit here, if you don't have a current diagnostic monitoring or a current system response. Some people say we don't want to calculate an MSR IP value if we don't have anything here. So then you can leave it here and go to step like this it is. You can go to step 6 directly. If you want to calculate the MSR AP value, even if you don't have anything to monitor or don't have any response, then you can fill this here. For example, the current system response is also stop wiping. So you can put it in. The most failure effect, let's look more left side. We have 2 failure effects here in our step 4. The wiper arm stops and we are not compliant with our safety requirement, or the wind still is not clear. We don't have any monitoring and response, so I can select here any failure in my failure network I have already prepared for my system structure. And in this case, this is very, very less here. I will select the original one because we didn't change anything. And there is a severity of 9 we are working with, and the MSR AP value is now red. The MSR AP value is calculated by the frequency, the monitoring, and the actual severity. So let's go to step 6, and now we would like to optimize the system by implementing a safety mechanism to have a, oh, this is too much, I'm so fast here. An MSR action or a safety mechanism to reduce the severity. So the MSR action, this is a kind of root knot for our action here. The action is completed by having a new diagnostic monitoring and a system response. And this action can also be used for reducing the frequency. We don't want to reduce the frequency in our example. We just want to implement this safety mechanism. So implementation of a safety mechanism to avoid, I have to type now, to avoid stop wiping. Okay, I will keep it like this. So the new diagnostic monitoring we would like to define, we have to monitor the current of the motor. I can't type and look together. So, and the new system response should be send a message to the driver's cockpit if the current is too low. Send a message to the driver's cockpit in case the current So the most severe effect, I can put it in here, I can edit the field, or I can have a look in my in my failure structure, in my failure net, if there is already an evaluated failure for this case. And if you have a long list here now in your database query, in the result of the database query, you also can try to search in this white field there at the top. I will show this later. So I can see this here now. So the driver gets a message that service visit is recommended for the wiper system. It's already evaluated by 5. I can take this over. Here also we can see these traces so that you know where is this most severe effect after system response located in the failure net in my DFMEA failure structure, and also in the DFMEA forms sheet. I can link here, jump here directly to the DFMEA. Here in my complete wiper system, there is a top failure effect having this message. So let's go ahead. This is general FMEA work. I can define target completion date and have to do this, and also to re-evaluate my new system. The frequency, we didn't change anything, so we have already the 5. Monitoring, now I have to evaluate how good is my safety mechanism. If I put this here too high, for example, the MSR RP value is already red. Nothing has changed because we are working with the same severity we have here in step 5. Only if the severity, the monitoring value is 1, then the system is working with the value of the new most severe failure effect after system response. This is the 5 now, and the MSR AP value is yellow. So the MSR work is finished now, because now we have to implement this safety mechanism. So, and then we have to add these new functions to this system, and we have to do some DFMEA work, and at the end we can complete here this action so that this has to be done. We will do this in a very easy way now. I have prepared something. So this is in the 1 Architect, where we do the system functions and failure analysis in general. We have our wiper system, the top level, we have the motor, we have the wiper arm, and here I have prepared a system element called wiper safety mechanism. I will do this here, and in this wiper safety mechanism, there we have 2 functions I've prepared. Monitor the motor current and send message to driver's cockpit in current if the current is too less. And these are 2 supplier functions to fulfill my safety requirement here. So I will link them here, and if I put here or click here on, then I can see this safety requirement has now 2 more supplier functions, and this is the old one from the motor, wiper motor. Now switching back to my FMEA-MSR form sheet. We have to, or what we can do, we mustn't do this, but you have the possibility now to ask the system, show me all the functions, not here, show me all the functions in this, in my system, and I can select some functions to link them here now to my diagnostic monitoring, so that later on I have the traceability where I have implemented this and where is it coming from. So now, for example, click here and I can search for, I will do this, for example, like this. So general monitoring functions, I gave them a prefix with an M so that I can find them easily in my system element or in my function net. Then I can link this here, or then I also have a trace now to a DFMEA where this monitoring diagnostic is implemented as a function. The same I can do for my system response. I can ask the database and then, for example, search if this is too much, not this system response. So it's an R and not an is. S, show me all the safety mechanisms, the system response function. And now I also have a link here to the DFMEA function. So this is the FMEA-MSR now. I can now complete the action here, and then I have completed my FMEA-MSR work. Thinking on the AIAG and VDA handbook, they say, and even Mr. Schuster told you before, that you now are allowed to calculate with this reduced severity in the DFMEA. And for this overview, we made you a summary form sheet. It's called DFMEA with MSR. It's based on the FMEA. It's read-only. It's just to have a summary. It's based on the DFMEA. You have the function analysis. You have the failure analysis. If you have a course for which you did an FMEA-MSR, it's indicated. You have a prefix MSR for this course. This is the course where we made the checkbox, where we activated the checkbox in the beginning. You have the step 5, what you did in the DFMEA. You have some additional information about MSR, FMEA-MSR for step 5. We remember we evaluated the frequency, the monitoring. We didn't change anything in the effect chain, failure effect chain, and all the RP values were red. Then you have a summary of all your recommended actions. You have the DFMEA actions, you have the MSR actions. You see it's only draft, it's not completed, our MSR action. So we don't have a completion date here. You have the new occurrence and the detection from the DFMEA and the original severity. You can see the most severe effect after system response and the new severity. Frequency and monitoring, the new one for after optimization. And now you have 2 values for AP. You have the MSR AP value, it's orange. It's calculated from the frequency, the monitoring, and the new severity. And you have the DFMEA AP with MSR. This is calculated by the new severity, the occurrence, and the detection from the DFMEA. So there you have an overview where you are now together with your FMEA-MSR in the DFMEA. So it's marked with an asterisk here because it's not completed. There's one open action, at least in your bundle. Yes, this is my part of the example from the SAE with the wiper, not the wiper, yeah, the wiper system.